Just a second, huh? I don't know whether, yeah. Okay, so for today's class, we are going through your video essays. This is your first assignment. As discussed, you've got the rubric given to you. These are the key components of the video essay assessment scheme. We're looking at content, discussion, language, organization, and presentation. So, without further ado, we will start with the first video essay. Go ahead, Jennifer.
Okay, so hello everybody. Again, I would like to introduce my video assignment. I'll be focusing on gender, which I will explain throughout my video essay. Do bear with my form of presentation as I feel that it highlights the key points that I want to express for my future assignment, and I hope you guys would benefit. And if you feel misleaded, like if you think I stray away, do bear with me until I get to my conclusion. So
We can't hear the audio now.
oh, okay, I'll try again, Doctor.
Is it because I'm recording it?
Not sure, but let me see. Okay. Oh, include.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Cool.
Malaysian
Can
has
you
to
hear
try
my
to find
video?
an acceptable.
Yes.
Okay.
Now sounds good. Yeah.
All right, I'll start again. So please enjoy my video. Thank you.
Hello everybody, I'm Jennifer and I would like to present my video essay on gender in Malaysian literature in English. First off, what is the definition of Malaysian literature in English? According to Weng Nisan, 1966, Malaysians are still trying to find an acceptable definition of Malaysian literature that will be valid for writings from an area of mainly diverse communities, where the language are classical Malay, modern Malay, Chinese, including their dialects, Cantonese, Hokkien and Hakka, Tamil, Punjabi, Hindustani, Sinhalese, the language of Borneo tribes, and English. However, there is an expanding definition of Malaysian literature as from a literature written only in the national language to a literature which reflects the Malaysian way of life. Next, we have Quayum 2008's definition of Malaysian literature in English, which he states, they are stories written and published over a period of about 30 years and by writers from different cultural and ethnic backgrounds, but they all share the common theme of gender binary and oppression of women in a traditional bound, ethnocentric society. For example, gender hierarchy and the ruthless victimization of women, the subordination and othering of women, resistance to male authority, and males' obsession as sexual objects. All the examples given forms the story that encapsulate the suffering of countless Malaysian or Asian women who endured all hardships and hostility for the sake of their families and found emancipation in love and devotion for their children and or their grandchildren. The primary article which I have decided to focus on is Ismail and Brayani's 2018 Portrayals of Post-Independent Malay Men in Malaysian Narratives. This research focused on to identify representation of early post-independent Malay men and their gender roles and later examine the quality of these portrayals. This research looks on the literary portrayal of Malay men's experience as part of their performing their gender roles, especially from Lee Kok Leang's Rongen Rongen and Cik Husna Azari's Pak di Samat Cinema. The methodology used will be utilizes phenomenological model to answer a focused phenomenon, the men experienced as saviors, in order to provide a priori that matches the societal collective impression, perception, and expectation of these men's gender roles in the short stories. Additionally, Ismail and Barini mention that gutsy men whose sense of survivability are filled by untamed courage upon seeing that threat either to themselves or people of affection or juggling with societal expectation as part of forming their gender identity. Moreover, Chiles' phenomenological model, which originally consists of 5 steps, are simplified into 3 stages. First, to conduct horizontalization. Second, overlapping statements that have more than one meaning or phenomena that are screened. Thirdly, individual textual description (ITDs), which are made up of narratives that represent the narrator's description of experience on the phenomenon that were created. As such, the research finding shows that expected gender roles are clearly instilled within the man in the selected short stories, that its discussion is too familiar and instilled among the Malay man that others outside the ethnicity too regards its significance. Before I further elaborate on my findings of gender issues in Malaysian literature and in English, the common themes as stated by Quayum, there are a few definitions that I would like to introduce. First of all is identity. Identity issues have always been salient in ethnically and culturally plural nation-states such as Malaysia. Hence, Burma 2002 said that among many scholars in the field of Malaysian studies, it maintains that strong and often unwavering ethnic, religious, and regional affinities that continues to exert pervasive influence on people's notion of identity and their sense of belonging to this nation state. The second definition would be gender role. According to Greenglass 2001, gender role is used in sociology and psychology to refer to the prescribed behaviors, attitudes, and characteristics associated with one's gender status as a female or a male. Hence, attributes associated with gender are the result of learning per cultural standards or prescriptions. The third definition that I'll be looking at is male or men's studies. The core essence in male study is to inspire men to work together with women in what is called as gender equity, rather than defending themselves against misandry that feminism aims at highlighting. Cornell's 1995 definition of subordinating men, stay-at-home fathers are no longer seen as powerless. Their supportive domestic roles is considered important in maintaining the sanity of their spouse and harmony within the household. Moreover, the roots of male studies can be traced from the movement for men's rights, where it is not an extension of men's studies. Rather, it is an entirely new, different discipline. In relation to the definition and articles, I would like to relate gender in Malaysian literature to my second article, which is by Koo, 1999, Gender, Modernity, and the Nation in Malaysian Literature and Film. In Chapter 6, Koo focuses on authentic masculinity, the representation of masculinity in Malay cinema. He mentions that there are 4 physical types of masculinity on screen. The first of all, the putative authentic masculinity. Second, the teen heartthrob. Thirdly, the pop singer. And fourth, the hard body. Koo further elaborates that if the emancipatory ideas of modernity for women found in feminism make them transgress traditional boundaries of gender and humanity to become manium's fascist feminists in the sense that they become men or machines, then the same emancipatory ideas when taking the form of uncontrolled female libidinal desires then threaten the authentic masculinity. Moreover, in this research, the putative authentic male, when faced by his inability to control the all-consuming woman, lashes out in physical violence. Koo coined this as hypermasculinity in order to reassert his masculinity. Hypermasculinity or violence is then the overacting or highly dramatic performance of authentic masculinity in crisis. For example, gay bashing is a hypermasculine activity in that it is triggered by comparable feelings of emasculation or homophobia. Besides looking at Koo's research, I have looked at Ramakrishnan, Hashim and Yusuf 2019's research, Invisible Chain, the themes of gender and violence in Malaysian literature in English. This article highlights the treatment of domestic violence in literary works of Malaysian literature and English writers. It examines novelistic representation of domestic violence with the aim to create awareness and giving them visibility. Moreover, the challenges faced by women in the private sphere, namely by discussing the different types of violence these women are subjected to, physical, sexual, and emotional abuse. From the feminist perspective on domestic violence and psychological aspects of domestic violence are used as a theoretical framework and lens for this research. The finding of this article states that Patriarchy is a circuit of violence, and it works by muting the abuse and condoning violence through the championing of male. Next, we have Quayum's 2008, Interrogating Malaysian Literature and English, Its Glories, Sorrows, and Thematic Trends. Malaysia is a polyglot and pluralistic society, with many races, cultures, and language coexisting within its borders. It is both an old and new society. Some of its population has inhabited the place for centuries, while others were brought over during the colonial periods. Quayum also states that the primary interests are usually nationalism and nation formation. Moreover, writers are keen to dismantle hierarchies in caste, class, sex, and race so that an harmonious, balanced, and humane society might be established in Malaysia. Also, to display all forms of prejudice, exclusivism, and bigotry in writers' imagination of the nation. Also, as mentioned earlier, the gender hierarchy and the ruthless victimization of women, it shares the common theme of gender and oppression of women in traditional bound androcentric society. Then, I continue to look at Nayer's 2008 Gender Construction in Malaysian Children's Literature. It looked at the ways in which male and female social actors are constructed in this text, which uncovers the subtle gender-based messages that they have inherently contained in this children's literature. The methodology used is critical discourse analysis. It's adopted as an approach to reading gender construction in children's literature, which focuses on content analysis, lexical analysis, transitivity analysis, and visual analysis. The finding shows that there are significant imbalance in the distribution of female and male social actors, both in the roles that they played and their appearance in the accompanying illustration. In both cases, males outnumber females. Practicing of stereotyping were found in the distribution of the characters in the various settings. Next, in written and visual language, there were strong nuances of sexism were identified. Also, lexical units and clauses are deeply embedded linguistic structures that position male as predominantly more powerful. Last but not least, visual analysis that shows that male characters were accorded the more important roles of an active doer. The last article that I've looked at for gender in Malaysian literature and English is Nair and Talib's 2010 Lexical Choices and the Construction of Gender in Malaysian Children's Literature. It states that the process children go through when learning about gender role is an essential part of their knowledge construction. Therefore, gender stereotype behaviors in children's literature can be transmitted through both the written text and through the accompanying illustrations. The finding shows that the adjective brave is often reserved for male protagonists in the selected children's stories. It appears that the princesses in the same set of texts must almost always be beautiful. When repeatedly employed in children's texts, this collocation along gendered lines help construct ideas of what it means to be male and female. Hence, the relationship between gender-specific epithets identified in the findings reveals the possible association Malaysian children may have made between specific traits and a particular gender. To summarize my video essay, the reason I ventured upon looking at the definition of Malaysian literature in English to further dive into how gender is portrayed in Malaysian literature in English is that I found out that men are less ventured by writers or scholars compared to women and children. Therefore, the question of the day, or the reason that piqued my interest into all this, would be what makes a man man? Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Jennifer. A lot of good points made. I will have the comments compiled in the comment section of the rubric, and I will send each and every one of you your comments. But the strength lies in the range of articles, as well as based on the range of articles, the gap in the reading of gender in Malaysian literature in English. That is what you have highlighted in your final slide, which is the question. So very clear methodology applied, which is I review each article, and based on the review, I come up with the gap in the area. And you've covered the range from 1968 right to 2019. Your article range is quite comprehensive. Except for one thing though, slide number 2, when you put Qayyum 2008, the topic sentence is a little bit misleading because the topic is about Malaysian literature in English, and you make it assume as if the 30 years of Malaysian literature in English, the corpus, it was predominantly around gender binary. And that's a bit misleading because that's not the case. There are many other issues, including race relations, that writers focus on, but you need to rework that part in order to make it more accurate, that your focus is more on gender representation in Malaysian literature in English, and then the rest of the presentation will flow very well. So if you hope to use this part for your final essay, for your final project, I say you can already write out the literature review section based on today's presentation, but change the topic sentence of slide 2, the slide 2 that had, I think it's slide 2, Qayyum 2008. That particular slide, maybe slide 3, I can't remember, but the topic sentence needs to be changed. Okay, all right, thank you so much. Next.
Thank you, Doctor.
Dr. May, I can go next, but please, if you can show my video, because I cannot or don't know how to show it.
Oh, you want me to show the video, huh? Just a second.
If you don't mind, Doctor.
No, I don't mind. I have to find it first of all. Okay.
Okay.
Why can I not? I'm trying to get it says it's not found.
Doctor, I just have the link, but I don't know how to share the link on the class.
I have the link here, but when I open on YouTube, it says the link is not found. I mean, there isn't a video found on the link. Can you share the link on our chat?
Yes, Doctor, just a minute.
In the meantime, can somebody try to get in touch with Husna? I have messaged her also, and she hasn't responded. So,
She hasn't responded to me either, Doctor.
okay. Ali, are you sharing the link on the chat?
Yes, Doctor, I will.
Okay, whilst that's happening, will somebody else like to go next? Either Alice or Huda?
I think I can go next, Doctor.
Okay, can you share the screen? Ali, just put the link in the chat. After Alice will listen to yours, inshallah.
Okay, Doctor. I just send the link on WhatsApp group.
Can you see my screen, Doctor?
Yes,
Yes.
I can see your screen.
Okay.
Do you want to introduce your video essay, Alice?
Yes, Doctor. It's a literature review of national identity and plural society. And can I play it now, Doctor?
Okay, if you want, yeah. Oh.
What happened?
What happened?
Someone
Ali
shares.
presenting the
Ali, don't share the
Sorry,
screen.
doctor.
It's okay.
Okay, doctor. Sorry. Okay, doctor. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. After Alice, then you can take the screen.
Okay.
Go
on,
ahead.
Alice. Sorry. Go on, Alice.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. You can play it.
Okay.
I don't hear any.
There's no audio, Alice.
Sorry. Let me see what happened.
It's like when you share, there's a button like you need to click to share the audio, the computer audio.
Mm.
You can share again.
Can you see? Can you hear?
No, we can't hear, but we can see the image though.
Click on pause, Alice.
I don't know how to do with it.
You can stop sharing. You can stop sharing
Okay.
first, and then you press exit. Stop. Okay, when you press the share content button, there's a button up there before you click your screen that is say share computer audio, something like that.
So you don't just share the screen, you also have to share the audio.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
I'm trying.
Yeah, because I'm learning as well, Alice. All of you, I'm also learning. So yeah, we'll go slow.
Good morning. I make a literature review on
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Rural society in Malaysian
Can you play from the beginning and can you increase the audio a little bit?
Okay.
Is that the maximum audio?
Sorry, doctor.
Is the audio at the maximum? Is the volume at the maximum on your
Yes.
computer? Okay, all right, go ahead.
Good morning. I make a literature review on national identity and plural society in Malaysian literature in English. I want to share with you about this. So here comes the first question. What's national identity? National identity is a person's identity or sense of belonging to one state or to one nation. It's the sense of a nation as a cohesive whole, as represented by distinctive traditions, culture, and language. National identity may refer to the subjective feeling one shares with a group of people about the nation, regardless of one's legal citizenship status. So according to this definition, it seems that what's important is a person's mind of which state or nation he or she belongs to. The second question is, what's the national identity of Malay? In pre-independence Malaya, in the early 20th century, there was a little sign of, if any, of a national identity among the people living in the British Malaya. It was essentially an assembly of political entities without a common vision for national development. Every ethnic group thinks they belong to their original country. This is because the large influx of low-cost foreign workers recruited from China and India resulted in the population shares of these two communities increasing substantially, with Chinese mostly toiling in the tin mines and the Indians working on the rubber estates. Migration from elsewhere in the Malay archipelago was encouraged as a part of colonial policy in order to increase the local food production, especially of rice, to feed the growing population not engaged in agriculture. Since there was work available for wives and old children on the rubber estates, Indian migration sometimes included whole families, who were then housed on the plantations in the labor lines, but their low wages, indebtedness, social status, and physical isolation kept the Indians apart, and they tended to exercise little influence on the Malayan society. So what's the national identity of Malaysian today? For the authority, it may be within the following 5 principles. Believe in God, loyalty to the king and country, supremacy of the constitution, rules of law, courtesy and morality. And for people in their daily life, I think it may depend on the language, food, and religion. For language, the national language of Malaysia is Malay, being one of the 2 official languages, also called Malaysian Malay or Malay. It's spoken by over 80% of the population, and the second official language of Malaysia is English, which is also one of the most commonly spoken languages. The 3 main Malaysian languages are Malay, Mandarin, and Tamil. And next is the food of Malaysia. For the Malaysian and Indian and Chinese. I'm not familiar with the food of Malaysia and Indian. If there is any mistake, please tell me. And next we come to the religion. For the religion, Islam, Malaysia's official religion, is followed by 3/5 of the population. Islam is one of the most important factors distinguishing a Malay from a non-Malay, and by law, all Malays are Muslim. The Chinese do not have a dominant religion. Many, while subscribing to the moral precepts of Confucianism, follow Buddhism or Taoism. A small minority adhere to various denominations of Christianity. Most of the Indians and Sri Lankans practice Hinduism, while the Pakistanis are predominantly Muslim. Some Indians are Christian, and Sikhs, originally from the Indian state of Punjab, largely adhere to the all-religion Sikhism. So what causes the national identity of Malaysian and also people Malaysian and Malayan? The main reason is the plural society. The British imported indentured labor since late 19th century from South China and South India for their own capitalist venture resulted in the existence of the three main races in Malayan then. Further compounded by the British divide and rule policy, which kept these three races in their own spheres with British administration implementation rules and policies that inherit any information or inter-ethnic alliances, let alone any mingling among the races. This was to safeguard their own political and economic interests. The education system further drove a wedge between the ethnic group as it was in the form of vernacular school system, thus the birth of plural society. And here is the three disadvantages caused by plural society. First is the lack of interaction between communities and ethnocentric perspective of the world. And second, lack of intercultural dynamic led to the formation of enclave communities. Second is lack of meaningful contact caused a lack of common view. And next, I will talk about how the plural society affects the Malaysian literature in English. And there are three excerpts chosen from the return to explain that. First, the experts, the writer in emphasizing the immersion he feels in his language and the isolated environment from the community he lived, gives us insights as to how a plural society functioned. The members of each community had a particular space carved out for them to live life and the way they know best, thus forming a little world for themselves within a larger one. They had their own culture, social engagements, and first of all, where the link to their ancestral home is strongly evident. And for the second exhibit, there is no opportunity to learn and mingle with other communities. No syncretism whatsoever, be it language, culture, food, or simply meaningful commingling. Even if there was, it would strictly be in places such as the market, where there is a necessity to get their essential food supplies. Interaction would be at a minimum, as there would be language and cultural barriers. Therefore, the different communities lived a segregated existence. Geographically, they were self-sufficient and had little need or regard for the other in all domains, including education, politics, culture and religion, language, and more. And the third exhibit shows the progress of the country's history as seen through the eyes of Ravi. The return of record the history from the colonial celebration of the King birthday to curfews during the Japanese and communist insurgency and the independence celebration. Ravi, who represents his Indian community, stands outside the circle and looks in as if he's an outsider. He's not part and parcel of the nation's struggle, nor part of its new status as an independent country, as he belongs to the component of a plural society and can't see beyond the requirements of his daily chores. He heard the proclamation of independence, yet is passive and is seen continue with the ironing of the clothes, eager to finish his chores. He cannot partake in the joy of independence as being part of a plural society. There is no common will or vision, and there is no signs of togetherness, hence no signs of celebration, pride, or joy as a united, free, and independent nation. Here is the references. And that's all. Thank you for watching.
Okay, thank you very much, Alice.
Yes, doctor.
Can you all hear me?
Yes, doctor.
Okay, because it's echoing, huh? All right. Okay, I like your style of using questions as a prompt to introduce the topic, to introduce the point of discussion, as well as to create coherence. You know, you go from national identity, what is national identity? And then you go to the next question, what is national identity of Malaysia? You know, hello?
Yes, we hear you.
Hello, doctor.
What happened to Huda? Why is Huda not in here?
Maybe she left now.
Hello, doctor. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear I can see all of you, but Huda suddenly got pushed out.
Let me check her this one.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Maybe her connection was.
Okay, now she's back. Huda, are you okay?
Yes, doctor. Thank you.
Yeah, because your connection you got kicked out. All right. Okay. Anyway, so Alice, as I was saying, I like that style of questioning as a way to create coherence from one point to another. What is national literature? What is national identity, and then what is national identity of Malayan? The syntax, you need to work on it a little bit. Then what causes the national identity of Malaysian and people in Malay? So I didn't quite understand what the question was focusing on. When you say what causes, when you have this notion of causes, it's usually cause and effect. So, you know, what's the effect or what's the cause? What's the question really asking? You need to relook at that part a little bit. And when you say people in Malay, do you mean people in Malaysia? Do you mean the Malay people? I didn't understand that question, that particular question. But other than that, I like the way questions are being used to structure the discussion. So that's a plus point. It's a very good discussion in the sense that you cover, coming from an outsider perspective. As an outsider, you're looking at the country and the way you have read about the country and position these issues of national identity and plural society and the corpus Malaysian literature in English. You've kind of like brought it all together. However, what is glaringly missing, Alice, is the citation. Anytime you present something and you do not include the references, it comes across as hearsays. It comes across as non-academic. It comes across as mere statements, your opinions and all that. But you've got references at the back. So I strongly recommend that you incorporate these references into the actual slides, meaning slide 2, slide 3, where are the references coming from when you discuss what is national identity? And then what is the national identity of Malaysia? How do you discuss that? From what perspective? Which articles inform you? So if you had a look at Jennifer's presentation just now, she focused on one reference per point per slide. Maybe one, maybe two. So that way, each point is very focused. Then you're doing a literature review of past research. Alice, do you get what I'm saying?
Yes, doctor.
Okay. Then the last part, when you bring in the 3 chosen excerpts. Now, keep in mind this assignment is a literature review, meaning you are not expected to do any original new research. So those 3 excerpts, if they are also part of the literature review, which texts, which articles did you use to get that data that you have identified, those 3 excerpts? But if they are original, your original take on the novel, The Return, then do not incorporate them in this assignment. Save them for your second assignment.
Yes, doctor. It's not my original thought. It's a part of literature review.
Good. So if it's not your original, you need to cite it. That means you need to say, maybe Ruzi Suliza Hashim says, Ruzi Suliza Hashim 2007 identifies the return from this perspective and excerpts. These are the 3 main excerpts that is cited in the article. So you need to kind of couch the discussion based on the article that you refer to. And that's the purpose of the literature review, to show the kind of reading that you have done, the extensive amount of reading that you have done. I just want to draw your attention to the fact that when you are doing a literature review, one of the things that marks a good literature review is the amount of reading that you do. So when we think about literature review, the focus is on the past literature that you are reviewing. The focus is on which articles are you using? When was the article published? What year? What's the focus of the article? Who was the writer? Was the writer an insider, a Malaysian, an outsider, a non-Malaysian? Was the writer a Westerner? Does the writer come from a Western perspective of the country? So you are problematizing this corpus, Malaysian literature in English, by looking at various aspects of the articles published in the past on Malaysian literature in English. So you have to cite these important information in order to be able to then, if you want to kind of create a timeline, you know, if you want to create a timeline, like Jennifer's article, she had one in 1968, and her latest was 2019, and she had many in between. So the literature review is based on a kind of a timeline. Now with Alice, I can't tell. I'm not able to decipher where your information is coming from. So you've got your information, you've clearly detailed the issues, but what is missing is the frame. So I can't tell, okay, what years did she refer to, which writers did she refer to, you know, is this a sociological study? Is this a historical study? Is this a literary study? All that is missing because you presented it like a story, which is nice, you know. So, but what is missing is the year, the citation, the year, and the author and the year. The author and the year that you are referring to. So the critique that you refer to, the year in which the article was published, and the perspective of the article. Is it a sociological perspective, a historical perspective, or a literary perspective? This is, it will be part of your literature review. It will help you create your literature review. Alice, do you understand?
Yes, doctor. I'm sorry for that, and I will change it.
Yeah, I would like you to rework the literature review. I would like you to rework your video essay if you can. The information is there, but you need to bring in the references. Otherwise, your marks will not be very good because it doesn't show it doesn't show you answering the question, which is the citations. The showing of the literature review is missing. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay, doctor, I will rework.
So the slides are okay. Just incorporate in each slide, incorporate where that information is coming from, and then re-record that. That way, I will not have to give you a low grade. But your information is very thorough. So all that is fine. It's the citation, because in academic writing, when you do not cite the references that you use, it reflects very, very bad on you as a scholar, you know. And some journals would not even publish your work. It's that serious. So please please be mindful of this. But it's a very good reading of Malaysian literature in English, of Malaysian history and Malaysian literature in English. So well done. But just rework that. I will give you until Monday to upload it, and then you will be done for assignment 1. Okay?
Okay, doctor. Do I need to just change my slides or recording it again?
Record it again, please.
Okay, doctor.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Record it again and then upload it back on UKM-Folio, or you can just send me a link on WhatsApp.
Okay, doctor. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Ali, it's all yours.
Yes, doctor. I hope so.
Ali, you're sharing the screen, yeah? Okay, cool.
Do you see my screen, doctor?
I see the screen. Is there any audio? Hello? Ali, are you still there? Is everybody else still here?
Yes, doctor.
Okay, cool.
I can't hear Ali as well.
Yeah, right. Ali, we can't hear you. And I think it's jammed. I think it's like it's hanging.
Yeah, I think maybe his screen is hanged because the video is loading.
Oh, okay.
No, stop. No,
All
it
right.
is.
This is a software I'm not familiar with. Flashback?
Oh.
Oops.
Sorry,
Uh-oh.
doctor. He has no connection
Oh,
because I tried to phone him. I couldn't.
okay.
It says it is, yeah.
Okay. Okay, we'll give him a couple of minutes. I hope he can get back to us. We'll take 5 minutes break, everybody. We wait for Ali to get back. Just 5 minutes break.
Okay.
We'll resume class
Okay,
at 3:15.
all right.
If somebody can get in touch with Ali just to find out.
Yeah, I will.
Thank you so much. So is Ali not able to get in again?
It seems like it.
Doctor, this is a problem since yesterday. All
Oh.
the area, not just his home.
Oh.
So if you want me to present.
Yes, please. Huda, can you present first?
Okay. But please guide me.
Inshallah. Are you sharing the screen?
Yes, I'm trying. And I sent the link as well. Just in case, doctor.
Okay.
I share it on the group.
Huda, you're trying to share the screen now, yes?
Yes, I'm trying.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Okay. All right. Do you want me to share the screen instead?
I don't know. Is there anything that
Okay,
appears?
now it's coming up.
Okay.
Yes. Can you check if the audio is okay?
Now what to do?
Is it playing? Is it playing?
Yes, doctor.
Oh, there's no audio, huh?
I think it's the same like just now.
How do you do that again, Jen? When you share the screen?
Yes, there is a button like before you click your screen on top there. There's a small button that says enable computer audio.
Okay, on mine it says include computer sound.
Yes, that one.
That one, okay. Huda, do you want me to share the screen and show your video?
Please, doctor.
Okay, then I will. I hope this works. Okay,
I hope
this
so.
is. I think this is yours. Let's see.
Diaspora?
My presentation will be.
Yes.
Can you all hear the audio?
Yes, doctor.
Yes,
Okay.
doctor.
All right, Huda, do you want to say anything before we show the video?
No, doctor, thank you.
Oh, okay. All right. My presentation will be Diaspora Communities in Malaysia, a rich literature of a life of adjustment and coping strategies in KS Manyams in a far country. To introduce my topic, I will briefly discuss the diaspora communities in Malaysia. In Malaysia between 1780 and 1824, Indian laborers were brought by the British colonizer. These indentured laborers work in factories, rubber and sugar plantation, and construction jobs such as roads and railway systems. The abolition of slavery in England in 1833 is one factor that pushed the British to find cheap labor outside of Africa. Another factor was the famine in India, which meant that Indians will accept to work in colonies for cheap. Similarly, Chinese laborers moved to work in Malaysia. Nowadays, there is a large diaspora of Indian and Chinese people in Malaysia. And among them, there are writers such as K.S. Maniam, Shi Li Ku, Chua Guat Ing, and Brita Samarasan. I believe that most of these diasporic authors exhibit a form of adjustment, coping with their community and their work. I would take the example of K.S. Manians in a far country
to look at the problems brought by being a diasporic individual, specifically copying. Literature review. Gabriel 2011 states that 50 years after the creation of post-colonial studies, the main issues discussed by the theory today is nation and narration, place and displacement, and uprooting and rerouting. These issues create themes such as mobility, adaptation, and change. Shangitha and Pillay, 2018, state that most investigation of diasporic consciousness in literary text presume it is homogeneous. It is essential to acknowledge that heterogeneity exists in the literature of diaspora, as there are various elements that influence one's diasporic experience. There are issues that should be addressed, such as class, gender, ethnic groups, and cultural lead to different encounters, resulting in a diversity of consciousness and discovery. In this section, I will gather and summarize some scholarly articles that discuss the issue of diaspora in Malaysia. I aim to show variety in the perspectives of aspects of diaspora that the author discussed. Gabriel 2011 states that, contrary to perspectives stressing diaspora as a discourse of exile and loss, this essay foregrounds the national tendencies and affiliation of diasporic communities, focusing on Malaysia. It examines the literary work of K.S. Maniam to show how they disrupt notion about diaspora and emphasize the transformative capacity and national consciousness of diasporic communities. The author draws two conclusions depicted in K.S. Maniam's work, which are as follows. First, the state wants to create a country of the national people as one and disregard the diasporic communities to make them feel as part of the nation. Two, the reality of diasporic groups as marginalized and resistant does not help the nation's vision. K.S. Maniam, the author, suggests that K.S. Maniam's writing can give an alternative framework to see the issue of nationhood. Literature review. Bernard 2005 states that the notion of the Malay word alam Malayo has always attracted not only the interest of scholars but also that of nationalists and politicians. Almost annually in Malaysia, for instance, there are many national and international seminars and congresses which carry Malay as the theme and focus of interest. All these are evidence of the relevance of the continuing, evolving, and contesting notions of Malayness and Malay identity. The word Malay itself carries a plurality. The author states that Malayness means identification and the homeland and ethnicity. But the emphasis is specifically on language. monarchy, religion, and customs and way of life. In considering the ethnicity of Malays, all writers give evidence of the problematic, blurred, pre-mable, expensive, and shifting notion of ethnicity. Conceptual framework, copying strategies. Finichel stressed that in copying, in carrying out a work of learning or work of adjustment, she or he must acknowledge the new and less comfortable reality and fight tendencies towards a regression, towards the misinterpretation of reality. I have chosen two types of copying strategies. Persons can exhibit either adaptive or maladaptive strategies. The latter is usually seen when the person thinks they cannot make the problem go away. First, adaptive behavioral copying strategies, when the person takes control, seeks information, and evaluates the pros and cons. This results in adapting to the stress. Second, maladaptive copying technique, also termed non-copying, dissociation, anxious, avoidance, and escape. From what we have mentioned earlier, three questions could be raised. First, how do characters cope with the identity crisis in the novel? Second, what tools do diasporic characters use to feel at home? Three, do the characters use adaptive or non-adaptive copying strategies in the novel? Diaspora and self-interrogation. Characters such as Rajan and Shilin suffer from self-interrogation. They do not know to which culture they belong. Rajan lived his life seeing his father getting drunk and cursing Malaysia. As an adult, he hated Malaysia too. These characters were told to embrace the Malaysian culture and not show any aspects of their home countries. This triggered the characters to question their identities, asking questions such as where they belong, how they can handle the culture of the country they were raised in, and how they can balance the different identities they have to be at home, with friends, at work, and with local Malays. The second coping strategy, dissociation and escape. Rajan locks himself in a room and cuts his communication with his family and outside world. This act of dissociation makes him feel safe from the world that he feels is trying to take away his personality and identity. Fortunately for me, I don't have a history, no past, no desire to give a value to life. This is in page 115. Dissociation can be seen in the word fortunately. Rajan feels safe that he can easily cut off his ties since he has no history and no culture. He decides to live in a neutral space with no identity and no belonging. Copying strategy language. Rajan and other diasporic characters use their own language to speak to each other. As in page 146. Though we all speak one language, the national language, we also use our parents' tongue. Sometimes when different communities meet in a common function, we somehow take exception to the common language and lapse into our mother tongue. Language can be seen as another form of escape and dissociation. used by the diasporic community, they both reject the national language of the country they live in and separate themselves by speaking so that the host community does not understand them. This makes them feel safe, a form of reaction to the stress and being a coping strategy. As a conclusion for this presentation, diasporic characters in a far country show self-interrogation in the novel. Their community rejects them, which triggers stress and reaction. The characters react in a maladaptive range of coping strategies. The characters avoid their society since it is the source of the problem. The characters dissociate with their community through physically locking themselves in their homes. Characters also use their language, which reminds them of their home country and makes them feel safe and isolated. Rajan ends up deciding to live with no identity, while Lishan decides to make symbols and objects from his home country in his own space. Both characters exhibit a bad coping strategy where they feel to adapt to their community and feel temporary relief from the stress caused by being a diasporic individual. Thank you for listening, and these are the references for my presentation. Thank you.
Okay. Huda, it's first of all, the problem discussed is clear. You are discussing the challenges of being a diasporic writer, and you're looking at K.S. Maniam's In a Far Country. However, I would say that your video essay comes across as an original reading. It's like what Alice has done as well. Both your video essays, Alice and Huda, it comes across as if you have come up with three research questions. You've got research questions, you've got methodology, you've got analysis, and these are original findings. So in a sense, your video essay did not answer the question. The video essay sounds more like assignment number 2, which is an original seminar conducted on Malaysian literature and English using new data that you have explored. So I would request that you redo your video essay like Alice. For instance, I show you.
Some scholarly.
Okay, this part is fine. The literature review is fine because you cite Gabriel and Sangeeta and Pillay. You cite different sources.
Literary work of K.S. as marginalized. And
this is also fine on Bernard 2005. But
a work of learning.
But from this section onwards, it sounds as if this is your conceptual framework to study K.S. Maniam's In a Far Country. And these are your research questions. So nowhere in these slides do you make reference to the fact that these are all part of your review of literature in this area, review of,
for communities by being a diasporic individual.
So nowhere in those slides, starting with conceptual framework, research questions, the discussion, nowhere do you cite which article did you get those information from? Whose methodology is this? What was missing in the reading by those writers, like Gabriel's diasporic translocation and the multicultural question in Malaysia? Okay, what's missing in that reading? And in Sangeeta and Pillai, what's missing in that reading? Those aspects are not incorporated in your discussion. You know, starting from conceptual framework up to your discussion, because all this sounds as if this is your original reading. You came up with a methodology looking at coping strategy. And you looked at it from the language perspective. You looked at it from this theme of disassociation and escape, and you looked at it from this theme of diaspora and self-interrogation. So I know this is a review of literature, and I know you've done a review of literature, but the video essay doesn't come across that way. It comes across as if this is a new research that you have conducted. So I would like you to redo it, that part from the conceptual framework onwards, but otherwise the video essay is really, really good. So much improvement to last semester's video essay. So you have definitely benefited from learning all these tools, because now you are able to write critically, and you are able to present your ideas in a digital format. You know, so you're definitely doing new and cutting edge stuff, but you need to improve on the content in order for me to give you the marks that you deserve. Okay.
Okay, Doctor, you want me just to focus on the literature review?
No, what I mean is you need to rework the content of these slides. Can you see?
Yes.
So like conceptual framework, research questions, where did you get all these things from?
From these articles, Doctor.
Yeah, that's why I say it's not clear. That part is not clear, because your presentation sounds as if, okay, this is the section on literature review, and
Yes.
this is your original research. This is your new research using this framework, and these are your data. These are your new data. That's how it comes across. It doesn't come across as if you have read other people's research and these are some of the things that they are finding with regards to Rajan's identity, or the identity of the Malaysian characters in a far country. So you've not clearly shown that in your presentation. So in these slides, starting from conceptual framework slide until the end, you need to show that this is not your original work, that these are based on past research done on in a far country. And the conclusion should come across as what is now the gap in the study. So if you know, if you know, you've got the two articles, you've got article 1 and article 2. Based on these two articles, you have shown us that, you know, they look at certain themes, you know, what are the different themes that they look at, and based on this discussion, based on the data, what is the gap in the current research into K.S. Maniam's In a Far Country, or into the diasporic identity in Malaysian literature in English? What is the gap? So the video essay should not end as if you have done a new research. Rather, it should end with, this is where the gap lies. You know, writers are not dealing with the issue of maladaptive, for instance. Writers are not dealing with issues of identity in a diasporic context, for instance. So what's the gap? You know, you might find like 2 gaps based on your research. That's fine. But the way you have presented it is as if, okay, you've done a new research, and based on that new research, these are your important conclusions. That's how it comes across. So it's a bit, it's a bit, it can be misconstrued, you know, it can be misread as if you have done the research, or you are taking somebody else's research and you are saying it is yours, which is not the case. That's not what you're trying to do. But it can come across as if that's what you're doing. And that's what we mean by plagiarism. You know, when we talk about plagiarism, it's taking other people's research and making it your own, basically stealing other people's research and making it your own. But I know that's not what you intend to do. But by the look of it, this, you know, if the authors had
and feel temporary relief from the stress caused by being a diasporic individual.
If Gabrielle 2011 or Sangeeta and Pillay 2000, Pillay is Dr. Shantini Pillay, and Sangeeta is her former PhD supervisor in NUS. If they had a look at this video essay, they can really kind of call foul and say, you know, you are taking my data and you're sounding it as if it's your research, because that's how this video essay comes across. Do you understand what I'm saying? But if you cite here that in Sangeeta's and Pillay's article, the conceptual framework used incorporates this notion of coping strategy, and in Gabrielle's research, the research questions focuses on whatever, okay, or using that one article in Sangeeta and Pillay's paper into K.S. Maniam's novel. They primarily focus on these 3 important questions. Using these questions, their data indicates that the diasporic sense of identity can be categorized according to these important themes. The first theme is diaspora and self-interrogation. The second theme is coping strategy. And the third theme is coping strategy, but within the language aspect. And based on these 3 themes, their study indicates that diasporic characters in this novel has a sense of self-interrogation identity. They tend to reject their own community, and this causes stress. So if you write it this way, it comes across as if you are recognizing other people's research into K.S. Maniam's In a Far Country. You are not declaring as if the research is yours and the finding is yours. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I'll try, doctor. I'll try, because you know, I refer to everything, to the articles.
I know you did. I know you did. But what I'm saying is,
I have to, sorry, doctor, but I have to connect it with the excerpts.
You have to connect it with the article that you are referring it to. That's what a literature review does. So in literature review, the strength of literature review is how much you refer back to the original article. That's how you show your scholarship. And don't just refer to one article. Maybe there are other articles that supports the same idea, you know, that also questions the diasporic identity. But the content is there. However, it is presented in a way that can be misread or misconstrued, you know, as if you are taking someone else's research and making it your own, which I know that's not your intention. So I would like the video essay redone, because I don't want Dr. Shantini or any of the Malaysian literature in English, any of our lecturers to have a look at it and say, you know, this is my work. How can she take ownership of my work? No, because I know that's not your intention. So I would like you to redo that, and you have until next week. Next week is mid-semester break. So I would
Yes.
like you and Alice to redo that. Does anybody know if Ali is joining us?
I'll phone him. Doctor.
I have been
Assalam.
trying to call him back. If he's having trouble logging in, maybe he wants to, because right now he's under guest. I'm not sure why he's under guest and not like Alice and Jennifer. Both of you are like you're using your UKM address, but Ali and Huda, both of you are not using UKM Siswa, email the UKM email address. So that's why in bracket it's got guest there. And I wonder if that's partly why Ali is having trouble coming in, or is it the internet connection at home? Yeah, I can't get him back. Huda, are you able to get in touch with Ali?
Doctor, the problem is all the area, not just Ali.
Okay.
Because he went to the office, they said that it is a problem for the whole area. So what do you want me to say to him? Because
Okay.
I am on phone with him.
Okay, good. Can we postpone the video essay for Ali to after mid-semester break? Or if you are free, all of you, if you're free, I wouldn't mind if we have a short session next week just for the video essay, just to play the video essay so that we're done with that. Is that okay?
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Hello?
I'm okay, doctor.
Okay. Jennifer, what did you say? It wasn't very clear.
Hello, doctor?
Yeah, is that okay with you? Just next week, just to play the video essay. So hopefully if Husna is able to join us, then we will have Husna's video essay and Ali's video essay. Can?
No problem.
Yeah, so that means maybe hopefully less than an hour. We'll just meet for about half an hour to 40 minutes, listen to the video, watch the video essays together, and then we're done. So then after mid-semester break, we'll go into the new topic. Is that okay with everybody?
Okay, doctor, okay.
Sorry, doctor, because I was on phone. I told him that we are going to have another session.
Yes, hopefully
during
next week. Next week, inshallah, 2 to 3 o'clock, just 1 hour.
All right. Your time or ours?
The usual class time, 2
Okay,
o'clock
nice.
in the afternoon, Malaysian time, exactly like how we have our class time.
All
So yeah. Can?
Yeah, by God willing.
Okay, inshallah. So I'm going to stop recording now. So we've seen 3 video essays so far. So we still have 2 more. That would be Alice and inshallah Husna's hopefully next week.